Carney stumbles under conservative heat. Tough day for the Liberal government. It has been a pivotal and high-stakes week on Parliament Hill, where Prime Minister Mark Carney faced intense scrutiny and political pressure from an emboldened Conservative opposition. What began as a routine parliamentary session quickly spiraled into a strategic onslaught by the Conservatives, who leveraged every opportunity to challenge the early decisions and direction of Carney's newly formed government. As the Liberals sought to set the tone for their first full legislative season under Carney's leadership, it became increasingly clear that they would have to do so while under siege from an energized and highly coordinated opposition led by Pierre Poilievre. Conservative MP Michelle Rempel Garner emerged as one of the most vocal critics, setting the tone with a scathing critique of a Liberal citizenship bill that she labeled lazy and recycled. She accused the Liberals of reintroducing legislation without making meaningful improvements or taking public concerns into account. Garner's remarks echoed a broader Conservative strategy that demands substance over symbolism, and her direct messaging underscored a frustration among opposition MPs with what they view as the Liberals' habit of rebranding failed ideas rather than producing practical, innovative solutions. Garner made clear that while Conservatives are willing to collaborate, they will only do so when the government presents serious, well-developed proposals that can withstand public scrutiny. Taking her criticism a step further, Garner introduced Bill C-216 as a comprehensive alternative to the widely criticized Bill C-63, originally presented under the guise of protecting children online. While C-63 was criticized for overreaching government authority, particularly regarding regulation of internet content, C-216 was framed as a balanced and targeted approach. The bill seeks to implement a duty of care for digital platforms, ensure more robust reporting systems for child exploitation, and modernize laws to combat increasingly sophisticated threats like deepfakes and AI-driven harassment. Crucially, it avoids the establishment of new regulatory agencies that would centralize control over online speech, a key concern for civil liberties advocates. By introducing a clear and thoughtful replacement, Garner demonstrated how opposition can be both critical and constructive. Rather than simply rejecting Liberal legislation, the Conservatives offered what they believe is a more reasonable, rights-respecting pathway to the same goal: keeping children safe online. This move was strategically effective, as it allowed the Conservatives to claim the moral high ground on the issue while simultaneously attacking the Liberals for their lack of precision and overreach. Garner's leadership on this file has further elevated her standing within her party and drawn significant public and media attention. Elsewhere in Parliament, the Conservatives took aim at the Liberal government's aggressive electric vehicle (EV) mandate. Andrew Scheer criticized the policy as being more about enriching corporate elites than genuinely reducing emissions or creating jobs. He pointed specifically to Carney's prior association with Brookfield, a company with significant interests in the EV sector. According to Scheer, this overlap between public policy and private profit raises questions about whether the mandate is truly motivated by environmental goals or whether it serves as a vehicle for insiders to profit at taxpayers' expense. This argument resonated with voters who are concerned about the cost and practicality of EV mandates, especially in provinces with underdeveloped infrastructure. An explosive moment in the House came when Conservative MP Michael Barrett confronted Carney over his financial disclosures and past involvement in offshore tax arrangements. Barrett's pointed questioning visibly rattled the Prime Minister, who responded with an offhand and dismissive comment toward a senior MP, an exchange that did not go unnoticed by political observers. For many watching, the incident served as a rare moment in which Carney's normally composed demeanor cracked under pressure. The clash gave the Conservatives a new narrative, that the Prime Minister is evasive when challenged on ethics and potentially compromised by past financial dealings. The situation grew even more complicated for the government when new allegations surfaced regarding misconduct at Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. A report revealed that 12 employees had interfered with immigration cases, including serious infractions such as offering bribes and tampering with records. Though the 12 represent a small fraction of the IRCC's massive workforce, the implications are far-reaching. The findings have reignited debates over government accountability, oversight, and the culture of impunity that some claim has taken root in federal departments. Public trust, already strained, is being tested further by what many view as a failure of leadership and oversight at the highest levels. To make matters worse, the report detailing this misconduct was initially placed behind a paywall, which many critics say limited public access to critical information. The Conservatives jumped on this fact, accusing the government of attempting to obscure damning revelations from voters. They argued that such information should be freely and widely available, particularly when it relates to potential corruption within a key federal agency. If these 12 employees were only caught because of internal whistleblowers, opposition MPs argue, it's fair to question how many other similar incidents remain hidden from the public eye. As the week progressed, it became increasingly difficult for Carney to steer attention back to his policy platform. His broader goals, such as modernizing infrastructure, strengthening interprovincial trade, and reforming procurement processes, were drowned out by controversy. While these initiatives were meant to define the beginning of his premiership, they were largely eclipsed by growing questions about his judgment, integrity, and political instincts. What was supposed to be a moment of momentum for the Liberals turned into an extended damage control session. Even Liberal insiders privately admitted that Carney's performance lacked the clarity and forcefulness needed to shift public opinion. Where his supporters once touted him as a steady, policy-savvy alternative to Justin Trudeau, critics now see a leader struggling to stay on message amid relentless parliamentary attacks. The image of a new beginning has been replaced, at least temporarily, by the impression of a government already playing defense just weeks into its term. Meanwhile, the Conservatives are capitalizing on the moment, framing themselves as the only party ready to restore order, ethics, and common sense to Ottawa. Their narrative is increasingly disciplined. Liberals are out of touch, insiders are enriching themselves, and everyday Canadians are being left behind. With strong performances from MPs like Rempel Garner, Barrett, and Scheer, Pierre Poilievre's leadership team is signaling that they're not just challenging the Liberals, they're preparing to replace them. This past week, Parliament has not only served as a legislative chamber, but as a battleground for public opinion. The Conservatives are setting the terms of the debate, and the Liberals are being forced to respond. Carney may still have time to recover and reframe his narrative, but if this pattern continues, the new Prime Minister risks losing control of the political momentum he so desperately needs.